any effing way and easily, you know,
Hmm.
especially since, you know, the IRS knows all your tax stuff from records and shit. All that shit's reported. You're just verifying it when you apply, when you do your taxes, you're just verifying it. And then you're saying, these are my claims for exemptions, this, that, and this.
I think
No.
that's applied to the W-2 because the employer will report
Your
it,
employer
and then
reports your
yeah.
taxes, your every
So,
bank account you have reports that stuff.
for businesses, I think it's not as fast. It has a lag,
No,
right?
because they
Because a business owner, they have to report their, unless it's like a big public company, they have to report every quarterly. Like
yeah.
the one
Yeah, I mean,
on
anybody can. You can always
yeah.
choose to report quarterly to keep it more up to date.
So
But the
quarterly
thing is, it's
reporting for
you
the
do your taxes.
investors.
You do it. Say the IRS can easily have it set up where you do it. They take all the information. They verify it. They like, okay, we got all this. Then the following year, you put in all your exemptions, or the following 2 quarters, you put in all your exemptions. Once they get it, once they say they've gotten everything, whatever, it could. There's plenty of ways it can be done. That's 1,000 times better. But to sit there and be like, we're going to create a whole new agency, I'm like, that's just wasting fucking money, first of all. And then you call it Department of Government Efficiency, which is like,
That
okay,
well,
now
I
you're trying
I
to,
I
now you're going to,
I
because they're going to start with
I
the
the
IRS and they'll try and spread to everything else. Like,
I
nah,
disagree with you. So, yeah, because I really think IRS needs to clean the house like every other government departments, all the three letters, you know.
yeah, they all,
So,
I don't disagree with that. I think the IRS does need a
yeah.
clean house, but I think there's better ways of do. I think there's a
So,
dozen better ways to do it than creating a whole new agency to do it. I think
because
that's
I
creating a whole new
feel
agency. I think it's literally a waste of money
I
for what
think
you're saying you want to do.
I think really waste of money is what we are currently facing, and I heard a lot of IRS agents,
Hmm.
people who work there, they don't even went back to the office since after COVID. They work from home, and
Yeah, they never.
and
Most
they
of them never had to be in the office anyway.
no, they do in the before COVID because I have a family member. She works in IRS, so that's why I know. Anyway, so I want to welcome everybody here to this episode. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe if you're on YouTube. And if you're on X/Twitter, please follow. And if you're on Facebook, please subscribe to the page because I just shot a Christmas photos, so I'm gonna release those photos to the subscribers in a vault. Okay. All right. So today we're gonna talk about Donald Trump's uh, the Avenger picks. Yeah. So
He
I
wants
think
it
the
to be a
latest
Christmas
one,
race.
Avenger. Yes. So the latest person that he picked, I believe, is for FBI, right?
The latest controversial pick that everybody's jumping on is FBI director pick of
Yes.
Kash Patel.
Yes. Kash Patel. So who's Kash Patel?
You know what? I'm still trying to figure out who Kash Patel is.
Yeah,
I
Kash
have
Patel.
never heard this man's name involved in anything.
Yeah, he's a I think he works at the department before because let me see. I have a person who is talking about him. Let me just play it on my phone for people to listen. 1 second. So this is a former FBI agent explain why Kash Patel is the right man for the job. Okay.
And from the prosecutor side, I think is
So
well. I think that Kash is eminently qualified to take the helm at the FBI. And you listed off his qualifications, his bona fides, and one that you actually overlooked was the foundation that he runs, the Fight with Kash Foundation, which I had some experience with, where Kash Patel reached out to me. Actually, he did some investigating and tracked down my number and reached out to me privately and came to my support, my family support in our time of need, and did not expect anything, did not expect any publicity. I think that shows the measure of the man with that case. But as it becomes to the actual running the day-to-day operations of the FBI, the fact that Kash Patel comes from the defense side and from the prosecutor side, I think is to his enormous credit. He sees how the process can become the punishment. The fact that he did work on the Russia investigation and saw how weaponized the FBI had become and exposed it. And the fact that he's transparent about where he stands on things is just a nice, refreshing element to him. Whereas we had James Comey, who just couldn't be questioned because he was just so nonpartisan. Meanwhile, he ran a honeypot operation off the books in the Donald Trump campaign and sent agents to go in and trap Mike Flynn. And you have Christopher Wray, again, supposed to be nonpartisan. Meanwhile, he's heading an organization that censored the Hunter Biden laptop story and put 90-year-old concentration camp survivors who were protesting outside.
So bottom line, this former FBI agent is very supportive Kash to take on the position.
Yeah, it's the guy who's a former federal prosecutor for the Department of Justice. He served as chief of staff for the Secretary of Defense, Miller, and senior advisor to the Director of National Intelligence. And I mean, just those alone speak volumes to his credibility of whether or not he's, capable of performing the job. He's got the experience. He's got the experience at the level.
Yeah, I think he also. Yeah, I think
he's
he's also seems like according to that former agent, I think he's very transparency. And the reason being this is very important at this time right now is because we are so tired and so angry of a lot of cover-ups, hidings, corruptions, So just the
You're always gonna have
reason
some level of corruption.
just the two reason how do you say the two reason list that we are so eager to see, the Epstein and Diddy list. So I believe
Yeah,
that day one this guy on the job will try to release those lists.
we'll see what happens. I don't see him actually. To be honest, I'll be honest with you. I don't actually see him, producing the real Epstein list or even the Diddy list. I see him, maybe producing an redacted version, but not the actual list because there's too many high profile people involved. And in my opinion, it's the one thing the government could do to almost unanimously and immediately restore a sense of faith in all of our government would be to not only produce a list, but prosecute everybody on the list.
Yeah, and
appropriately for their involvement.
Yeah,
to investigate and to prosecute everybody on the list appropriately for their involvement. That would be the best thing.
Yeah,
well,
I
let's
think.
be honest.
I think
that's novel world. That's
I really think these two lists is kind of brand new. So you use the word producing, it fits. But if we
the
look
Diddy
back,
list is just going to be an abbreviated version of the Epstein list.
if we look throughout back the history, there's a lot of classified information. So this guy might disclassify some of the information. Let's say JFK assassination and 9/11, right? Those are the main.
It's too many people involved that you're never gonna see. And the thing is, as long as the people continue to allow it by not doing anything and not saying anything, who cares?
That's why I believe this is going to be a change.
Yeah,
game change. I really think so. I really think this time is different because of the people that's in the cabinet. Like
I
if you
would
want.
bet my left nutsack on that. It ain't gonna change.
Okay, okay.
Because
Everybody hear that? So,
you want to have, I get it, you want to have faith in Trump. He's going to do all
no,
this
it's
stuff.
not. It's not just faith in Trump. It's just like people, like you said. If nobody says anything, nobody,
Yeah, but
you know,
you got to
then
remember, he's one man.
yes, one
He's
man.
one man, by himself. He's got to convince hundreds, thousands of people to get on board and do what's right. And too many of them got shit to lose.
Yeah, but but again, earlier what you said is correct. I agree. People. So people, like I mentioned earlier when we started this conversation, I said people are tiring of cover-ups. People are tired of corruption, and that's why, right? This election, that's why it's all red. I think that shows and proves that people are sick of it.
Yeah,
So
they're sick of
you know
it.
what I
They
mean?
want to have
So
faith.
so that's why
But you got to remember, all
the
those people
change.
that were red, that's as far as they're going to go. Was the election. That's as far as they're going to go. If they really were serious about it, they would have been writing to their senators and congressmen every day saying, "We're tired of this mess. Fix it." You
Yeah,
know,
but here's the thing. Maybe there's people doing that, but we just don't know, right? Because they're not gonna report on television. Just like I heard today on the news, they always report bad news, right? They're not gonna report,
well,
oh, there's
yeah, they
people,
can recall their congressmen and
you
senators.
know?
They don't
Yeah,
have to. They don't
but
have
they're
to
not gonna
wait for
be,
them to get in gear. They can just do a vote, and they
yes,
don't need
but
the whole
it's not,
state. You just need so many people.
yes, but if it's not on the news, then it's not like, you cannot collect enough people to have the voice to have the change. So, but
Well,
this time,
that's when we go back to
like I
that's when you go back
mentioned,
to control of the media.
like I mentioned, no, not control. Like I mentioned, so this time, as you can see, a lot of people are looking for change. That's why we have Trump 2.0, right? So I
Yeah, because
really
they
believe
think
this.
they're betting
So
on him doing it for them.
no, not just him. It is a teamwork. Okay, so that's why I really follow this list, and I really excited about this uh, Kash Patel, and I believe he will really uncover some of the cover-ups and disclassify some, you know, some information. I even believe
Oh,
they
I'm
might.
sure he'll reveal something. He'll push that.
I even believe they might tell us more about the Roswell, Area 51 stuff. I really
They're not
think
doing
so.
it. Area 51
I
is
really
just
think so.
a name.
Yeah,
Everybody looks
so
at it.
I really think before Trump leave office 2028, we will know a lot more about UFO. So that's my prediction, and that's my
Who are you excited about
my
on this list?
insight. My most excited about this list is RFK, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. That's the only
RFK.
person I'm excited about on the
You
list. The
want you
only
want to know
person I
why?
want to
You
watch.
want to know why? Let me hear your reason first.
For me,
Yeah, your reason.
because because RFK Jr. He's not an in your pocket guy. He's not an in
Mm,
your pocket kind of guy.
mhm,
He's that crusader, you know. So for Donald Trump to even pick him was a risk in the first place, but to show that I believe that him, RFK Jr. and we'll give Cash Patel a half a point as the two people he picked that everybody's gonna watch or really be like, ooh, because they're gonna be like rocking the boat trying to make a difference. They're gonna really rock the boat trying to make a difference and improve shit. All the rest of these people are people that shouldn't be there or don't really need to be there. Like Susie Wiles, I'll give her the nod. Okay,
mm,
high profile campaign manager. She's great. She's great at
mm.
speaking. She's calm, collected. She can do it. Her as White House chief of staff. Okay, I give her the freaking nod. She
Okay,
probably could have done better as a press secretary, but she can do that. I can see her doing that position too. Then there's another one that stood out to me that I was like, what the fuck?
let's go back to RFK first, because to me, RFK is to make American healthy again. So this
Yeah,
is
he's a
gonna,
firebrand. He cares.
yeah,
He wants to change.
this is gonna be, what we experienced the last 4 years is gonna be transparent because
I don't know. It's not so much transparency. He said,
because he wrote a book about COVID, about Dr. Fauci, and just to be uh just to let everyone know, I I don't do any vaccines. I have zero vaccines, and I really believe it's a pro-choice. But 4 years ago they made it like a mandate. If you don't, then you're a disease. You're a walking disease or something like that.
I believe in them
And
because I know how helpful they can
yeah,
be. But at the same time, my thing is really for me, it's a really big thing on trusting who's developing and doing the vaccine. You know, you can't just have a fly by night, half-assed. And
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I really one of my worries about the COVID thing. Actually, the only real worry about the COVID thing was the RNA vaccine
Oh,
that
I
who
yes.
was it? Not Johnson and Johnson. They did the other one.
Mon-
The RNA one. I see there's going to be complications from that. And as far as I'm concerned, we got lucky. We didn't have problems from it this time.
well,
It's been a couple years.
I I already seen some people that I know. I mean, I know they are healthy before, and all of a sudden they have cancer. And for example, they have lung cancer, which these people does not smoke, does not have any genetic in the family have cancer. So
Yep.
I personally suspect, or personally suggest it might have to do with what vaccines. And
Yeah,
and
that
not just vaccine, the big pharma that RFK is going after, and
it's
then
a
the food
yeah,
industry,
it's
like
a
all the
major
food.
it's a major problem because we're so far down the road of big pharma and big food
Big food.
doing the mess that they're doing and be getting away with that.
Mm.
We're going to be experiencing the problems for that from that today. If they changed it today, we would still be experiencing a multitude of problems medically from that for the next 20, 30 years. Our
Yeah, but
food is trash.
will be
I mean,
safe. Our
literally,
next generation will be safe.
yeah, literally, the food we eat here in America is literally banned from being sold in the majority of the countries around the world. Everybody talks about how rich America is, how good it is.
Mhm.
Well, you're eating food that the poor countries won't even let those companies sell in their country. Not because it's expensive, but
Mhm.
because it's trash.
Yeah,
And you can't get away from it here.
we have the highest budget for our health department you know in the agency, in the bureaucracies. We have the
We have the
highest
highest budgets for
for
everything,
that.
and
But
yet we
but
still can't take care of our own people.
but we have the lowest life expense, average at 40. I mean, sorry, average at 76 compared
Hmm.
to every
And
country. And
that's
Japan
only
has the
because of
highest at 86
yeah,
average.
but our life expectancy is only that high right now because Generation X, so many people from Generation X and before are still alive. That's the only reason it's still up that high. If you don't count, if you start like with millennials and push forward to today, you're gonna watch that drop. I fully believe you're gonna watch that drop into the 50s, and
Yeah,
it's
because a
gonna
lot of
be a
people,
ridiculous thing.
yes, a lot of people are obese. I see little kids, they're so young,
I
they're
see.
already,
I remember.
unhealthy, fat.
Remember when
I
we were
mean, you know,
kids?
so we're
Remember when we were
skinny.
kids? It was hard. You had to look long and hard to find a fat kid in school.
Yeah,
I ain't
I
gonna
also see,
even lie.
you
You
know,
had to
I
look
saw
long and hard to find a fat kid in school.
not just kids. I saw those picture from the 70s, 60s. All those hippies, they all look so skinny. You know, skinny tight jeans.
You had to look long and hard. But by the time
Yeah.
I graduated high school, there were more by the time I graduated high school,
Mm,
you know, in the early 90s. But still, nothing like now. My kids were that
mm,
age, and I would see their school friends.
right.
You know, I used to just be like amazed at. We would go to events with the kids, and because we had
Mm-hmm.
them in sports and stuff, and we would go to event. There's swim meets and soccer and baseball. They tried. We had one of them tried baseball for a while, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
then swimming and soccer and band, all these things, and the difference from then to now, even then when I was a kid, there wasn't even I didn't even know a lot of fat adults. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot of
So
fat adults.
so
You know,
so I
but
believe
now,
there's couple reasons. Food is one, and then you know the ingredient in the food and the restaurants, that promotion, you know, sales discounts, buy one get one free, all those matters. And the last but
mhm,
not least, technology, because like you said, kids these days, they don't even know how to play outside anymore. What's
yeah,
playground? What is
yeah, you
playground?
have to.
So
You used to be you
there's no
just kick the kids out
exercise.
the house. Don't come back until the street lights come on, and that
That's
was it.
right.
Now
Now
you have
now
to
you
go pay.
yeah, you don't have to yeah, they don't even want to go out. You don't have to
You
worry
have
about
to
that.
pay to put your kids in activities just so they'll get physical activity.
Yeah,
Like
that's
my kids, we paid every year for them to be in something. You know,
sports
like
team, huh?
I remember when I went to school, it's just that shit was just a part of school. You know, I did
Mm-hmm.
band, sports, all that stuff. I did that stuff throughout school, and it was just like that was just a part of school. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
was after school, be there till
Mm-hmm.
like be there for another 2 or 3 hours doing that stuff. Now you have to pay to put
Mm-mm.
your kid in
Mm-hmm.
on some kind of league or something just so they'll get physical activity. You know, and it's like
Yeah.
it's a shame, and a lot of that is behind gutting the education system.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes.
thank you, Nancy Reagan, gutting the education system. You know, so that we have this, all in the belief of no kid left behind. So instead of adding money to the education system to make sure we pick those kids up and keep them going, we're going to cut the money to education and then lower the
So
requirements so
so
those
you
kids
have
can pass easily on their own.
I'm curious, do you have that list? Who's in the charge of education on that list? Does it appointed
Uh,
yet? Did it got
let me
appointed yet?
let me see. National Security, Interior Security, Secretary of Education
Oh,
is
that one.
Linda McMahon.
Mm,
McMahon.
okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure who that is. Yeah, so back to RFK. The current, I do you know the current position with the Health and Human Services is a trans person. Do you know that?
the
Her name is Rachel something.
the what?
Hmm?
The
That
Secretary of what?
not the w- the position that RFK is appointed. The current position
Hmm.
is held by a trans person, Rachel something. I forgot her name.
No, I didn't know. I didn't
Yeah,
know
see,
that
that's
the.
why I know about this months ago, and my first reaction was okay. It seems like she just put there to be there. Most people don't even know about her, and just like the DEI, she just got put there because she's a trans person, just to be inclusive kind of thing, right? You found it?
That was their whole plan from the beginning. That's why I kept
Yeah,
saying it's gonna fail.
yeah,
Because
and
they didn't have a plan.
and
They just wanted your votes.
and that Rachel person didn't even. We don't even hear about it. We don't know what she did at the position at all. So
She was at HHS, and nobody even knows.
yeah, HHS, Health and Human Services. Okay, so next person I want to mention. Do you know Zuckerberg?
It's Chrissy Noemi. Why
Hello,
is she being the director of Homeland Security? God damn it.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next question I want to ask you is Mark Zuckerberg is meeting up with Trump to get a position for the technology.
That would be a mistake, but sure, he'll probably give it to him.
Why do you think it's a mistake?
Mark Zuckerberg is the CEO of a company that has been embroiled in far too many implications and outright investigations that prove they were working against use, fighting Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook has spent a lot of money fighting accusations and I don't know, and investigations for their handling of child accounts on Facebook and not protecting children. Not only not protecting them, but outright exploiting those accounts and children. And the guy's the CEO of the company. He's got a big head, big attitude, and I don't mean like physically. I mean like he's got a big attitude. This is the kind of guy who made it big, but growing up, he was probably the guy picked on a lot. So he's got a big chip on his shoulder all the time when it comes to, being in charge or important or whatever. And in my opinion, Facebook, as useful as it is at times, I could live without it. I don't need it. It's not important. It's not a necessity for life. But your company has exploited children and messed up in a lot of big ways, and you played it off like this is why I didn't like I don't really approve of that guy or like him because he played it off, and every time he was in front of Congress trying to answer questions, he was disingenuous. He was disingenuous and misleading. And I'm like, I will never have a good opinion of that guy. That's like the same thing with the guy from what's his name? That was always reporting on Sandy Hook. The fat guy. He's starting to get back on streaming now. If I remember his name, you'll know who I'm talking about. He's starting to show his face on media around now, trying to make a comeback. And I'm like, no, you spent all that time firebranding, shooting that stuff down, destroying families, and
somebody comment Alex Jones.
there you go. That guy.
That guy.
He spent a lot of time.
Thank you, car photography. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. He spent a lot of time shooting that down. And then when they finally dragged him into court, he tried to play stupid.
Okay.
That right there, I got no respect for that guy. I will never trust that guy. I would never support him for anything. And if anybody I know supporting him, I'll be like, yeah, I don't know if we can do business together because you got that guy. I don't care how long you've known him. I don't care how long you guys been buddies. Until he makes up for that, we can't do shit together. You say, yeah, but they stole his business illegally. No, they didn't. They prosecuted him in court.
Well, he's a very
Yeah, he
controversy
chose the
person
wrong. Yeah, but
because
he chose the wrong event to spin off.
he start coming out, I think, since 9/11. So yeah.
Yeah, if you be controversial, go for it. It creates views. But attacking children over a fucking incident like that, I never have anything good to say. And I mean, car photography, I see saying, yeah, they stole his business illegally. No, they didn't. They prosecuted him in court. He lost the case because he couldn't answer the questions, and then he tried to play dumb. I watched it.
Okay, so I don't know. Mark Zuckerberg to me is kind of swinger, I call it, because when Biden is in office, he was like, okay, I'll just block everybody's comments or posts about COVID because that's their
Yeah,
mandate, right? And
like I
then
said, he's
now,
an opportunist.
and then remember, just months ago, he put a letter out saying that, oh, I was pressured by the Biden administrations, I was this and that, and now
Whatever.
he
He's an
that's
opportunist.
why
He jumps on the
that's
bandwagon every
why
day, and
that's
then he
why
said,
I
"Oh, it
call
wasn't me. It was them."
yeah, that's why I call him, he's a swingers.
He's a swinger.
Yeah.
We should keep that. We should keep that. We should keep that. Like
Yes,
Carpenter, he's trying to get us to do a whole episode on Alex Jones right now.
Oh, yeah, we will do. Okay. Hey, maybe we
You know
can
what?
do
That's one
that.
we can do at a later date when we get stuff together.
Alex
Because it's an
Jones.
old
Yes.
thing, and then it'll just be like a reach back if we can get stuff together.
Yes, misinformation. Yes, there's a lot. But his channel is on X right now, and
Yeah,
I really enjoy the new Twitter, because it's very non
I'm not gonna knock Twitter and
yeah,
whatnot.
not
You
very,
may not agree with
not,
a lot of
it's
people on it.
freedom of speech,
Yeah,
and
it's
yeah.
and, but that's when we talk about freedom of speech. I wish people would stop saying it because it's people got to understand what the freedom of speech you're talking about really means, and stop bandying it around the fact that you can just say whatever the hell you want without consequence. And that's why Alex Jones
Not
got his ass pinned up. Freedom of speech
not
protects you
that,
from
not
your
like that.
government prosecuting you. Yes, it was. Because freedom of speech protects you from your government prosecuting you for running your mouth. It does not protect you from, you know, being sued because you ran your mouth and you mentioned private or professional individuals. It doesn't protect you from that. Freedom of
Mm,
speech protects you from prosecution from the government. It
yes,
does not
but
protect you from prosecution. It does not
I'm just
protect you
talking
from a
about
private citizen or
I'm
professional
just talking
citizen from
about
acting.
I'm just talking about day-to-day people. Like, people want to express what they want to express. And I
You
think
can say whatever you want.
yes, that should have
Yeah, but
the
people need
rights
to
to say that,
remember you can
otherwise
say, yeah, but I
otherwise
get it. But that's why
otherwise
I
we
was
will
saying,
be the same as the commies, right?
no, we
Like,
won't. That's why I got to tell
that's
people
what
we won't.
happened in
Here's why.
China. That's what happened in
That's not what
China,
happened
that
in China.
you can
People were
yes,
prosecuted by the government.
you can't say anything bad about the government. Otherwise
That's what
you
freedom of speech protects you from. You
no,
can't lump in private citizens with that.
and then
People got to understand. You can
and
say
then
whatever you want, but it's
and then
just like being
China
on the street.
China cannot allow people to use Facebook, by the way, if you want to talk about Facebook.
Well,
Yeah.
China's all about
So
controlling the information.
yeah.
You
So
can't
that's
you
why.
can't tell
That's
your
another
people
thing.
they're the best when they can turn around and go look and see that you know they aren't. You can't tell
So
your people that they're so awesome when they can just go online and see that they aren't. It's the same thing with
so
North Korea.
yeah, so I my ancestor run away from the commies, so I know a lot about commies, and yeah. So never mind. So we immigrant here legally, just to get away from that. So and we, um, how do you say? We migrate to Taiwan. You know, my ancestor migrate to Taiwan just to run away from that as well. So we don't
And
need
when was the
that
last
here.
time you've been back
So
to Taiwan?
not too long, 2005.
2005.
Why?
Not too long
Yeah,
ago. That was
yeah, not
20
too long
years
ago.
ago.
Why? What's
That was
the
20 years ago.
so?
No, I was going to ask you, what's it like compared to? I don't even know what Taiwan's like now. Like, has it been a big change in the time frame
No big
with
change.
the society and the
Society
views?
is very
And then,
society is very open. And matter of fact, Taiwan is the first country that legalized same-sex marriage.
yeah, I heard about
So,
that. I've also heard that
and then,
Taiwan's very advanced and
yes,
built up and industrialized very well.
and
Uh,
then
I
the
would
chip.
my advice to them would be, beef up your industrial military complex a little bit because
So
you
the
cannot
and the
guarantee the U.S. to back you up if China gets funky.
mm,
You want to make sure you have the ability to. My advice would be make sure you have the ability to fight off China for
I
at least
think
3 years.
I think there's a
So you
lever.
can get some help.
I think there's a leverage.
Leverage.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well,
The
there is, but I would tell them, make sure you got the ability to protect yours for a couple of years.
I
Because if you look at anything like the next
Ukraine
topic, yeah,
Ukraine is different.
you
Ukraine
are.
is different. Ukraine is really different because Ukraine is our corruption's laundry base. I think
Yeah,
so.
Ukraine
That's
is
totally
very.
different.
I will not. I
So
would never say
so
Ukraine and Taiwan are on the same level. I'm just saying
so
you
so
don't want to be
Taiwan
caught in a position where
so Taiwan
it's just an attrition.
so listen, Taiwan has, like you said, technology, industrial. So all the chips that we're using is made from Taiwan, by the way. So that is the leverage that I was talking about. And of course, now they have a plan in, I believe, in Texas now. So that's
Is
also
that still going through, or did it fall through? Because I just heard somebody
no,
trying to
it's
say
still
something
there.
about
It's
that
still there
program falling
because
through.
it's there because I have the I invest in their stock, so I know.
They
Okay.
actually got everything to go through.
Yeah, we are now American first. We're sending billion around. Yes, American always
We need
first.
to make a couple moves and get a part of that pie because
Yes, American
that's not
first.
going to go away for a long time. Once you start something like that, that's a big thing. So all viewers, that's a big thing. Once the government starts something like that, get you some investment on in that program. You find all the suppliers and you invest in the big time suppliers and the companies because that's a big thing. It's not going to go away for a long time. They can't let it fail. It's one of those too big to allow just to fold up and fail type situations. So there you go. That's your little tidbit.
what, are you,
Oh,
what are you talking about? I don't get it. But anyways, thank you again, Car Photography, for all your comments.
yes, thank you for
Yes,
participating.
thank you. Yes, yes. Maybe, yeah. So next week we will
Yeah, we
be
ain't
back
done sending
on.
billions around the world. We get too much. We
So
get too much.
So next week we'll be back on, and hopefully we'll see everybody again. Okay.
Yes, love talking to
Yes.
you. Love seeing all the participation and the
And make
interaction. Thank you, Car Photography. Shout out to you for your bits.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
So make sure you subscribe so you know when are we gonna be on next time. Oops. Later. Bye.
Later. Oh.